Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar entitled Why Yomi, Why Now? And in my words, confidence. My name is Mike McKenzie. I'm a general dentist from Hannibal, Missouri. I graduated from UMKC in 2015, and I've been a Yomi provider since 2024.
And my name is Erin Broughton. I started with the practice as a dental hygienist in 2016 and found a love for comp exams, oddly enough, and trying to find solutions to people's problems. And so very soon after that, we took off with Full Arch, and I was able to start as treatment coordinator in 2024.
A quick disclaimer, I will say that Yomi pays me to give this presentation. You can read that if you want, but I'm here to tell my story and how Yomi has positively impacted my life. Through this webinar, the goal is to understand the benefits of robotics and dental implant placement and really understand how Yomi has impacted my health and my ability to provide top-notch care to my patients and review the workflow that robotic implant placement offers. So when I say confidence, I mean confidence for my health, primarily, but the longevity of my career, the confidence in my team, and most importantly, the confidence in providing a top-notch patient outcome. So my story is kind of unusual, but it started coming back to my hometown as a general dentist after I graduated. It was always my dream to come home and elevate the standard of care in my hometown. That means taking a somewhat small practice to new levels with digital dentistry, from 3D printing, CEREC, digital sensors, cone beam, sleep apnea, oral conscious sedation, all the things that nobody in my hometown was doing or offering. We grew the practice from one hygienist to three. We're the only practice in town that each hygienist had an hour with the patient. So we grew our perio program, all the things that was lacking, and we did it very well. We brought a standard of care to Hannibal that just had not existed for years and years. And we grew the practice 3 times, so patients obviously loved it. What we realized quickly was that, we could elevate what was offered in Hannibal, but tooth replacement was not even an option anywhere outside of removables, and implants just weren't an option. Nobody presented implants as an option because nobody did it. And we quickly realized that is how we could really grow our practice and provide a new standard of care rather than elevating the existing standard of care. So I did my implant training first year of practice and did my first implant 1 year after purchasing the practice. And that, slowly grew. We had some success. And it wasn't until 2021 that I did my first full arch case and quickly realized that, man, that was fun. The whole time we were still doing general dentistry, still had 3 hygienists, still doing sleep apnea and Invisalign, and realizing that there was so much risk involved with all of this, from financial risk to just stretching ourselves so thin and doing things, I like to say, half-ass. We had so much going on. We created a monster that we were just spinning our wheels trying to keep up with, but still taking it slow with every patient to give a better patient experience. What I didn't realize at the time was an unseen risk, and it became quickly evident that there was a risk to my health, that my mental health, my physical health, and my family life, honestly. I said I did my first full arch in 2021. We were growing, and starting to do more full arch. In 2023, we're rocking and rolling, full arch implants, single implants, all the general dentistry things, and realized that, okay, the numbness in my hands, the tingling, the physical ailments were starting to build up. And I realized that the numbness and tingling wasn't going away at night. So I decided to, start to address that. And in 2023, mid-2023, I scheduled an appointment with a neurologist, which led to an appointment with a neurosurgeon. He told me that if I wanted to continue practicing dentistry, that I had to fix the blown disc in my neck. And I needed to do it quickly, because it was becoming a major problem.
Yes, so we assumed what quickly meant was, all right, in 6 months from now, we have plenty of time around Christmas time for him to have this surgery. And he called back quickly to treatment coordinator, office managers, everybody on the team, and said, sorry guys, I have to do this in like 2 weeks, and we're going to be closed for 7 weeks actually. And so from a team member standpoint, we had seen the burnout, right? We're all a part of it. This dental family is much unlike any other in healthcare. We're close knit, and we knew that he was hurting, and we knew that he was not fulfilled, I guess, either. And how can you be when you're hurting and the patients are that way as well? So from a team member standpoint, it was a scary point for sure. How long are we going to be closed? I didn't know that his physical ailments are now going to be my financial, and I need to cover my family. We're thinking, who's going to leave? We just shut down for COVID, and now we're going to have to shut down again. What are we going to do? So obviously in dentistry, problem solution. So a microscope will fix all problems, and we're going to continue to do DOs on number 15. And so we got a microscope. This is us taking a picture of it to post on Facebook and pretend to be excited about said microscope. But
yeah, I went back to work after 7 weeks, like she said, and with the scope, I'm back to dental school speed. But hey, we're taking care of our patients, and we're getting back to business basically. And yes, there was less pain, but what I realized was, okay, there's less pain now, but patients are still so ungrateful. They don't value the care. They value how we do it, and they can talk about it with their friends, but they're still saying when they get in the chair, I wish I was anywhere else. I love you, Mike, but I wish I was somewhere else. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm literally breaking my neck. And I was back to doing the same exact thing. Yes, I may be protecting myself with the scope, but I'm still breaking my neck. The carpal tunnel is still there. And why am I doing this? I'm going to be back in the operating room myself again in 2 years if I don't change. So we're back to the hamster wheel, and lo and behold, like, I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks after getting back to work, a marketing company showed up with our implant rep and was like, okay, Mike, I hear your story. I told him the same story I just told you. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, man, I want to do full arch implants. That's where I see my practice going. That's the only way I can, provide the care that I want to provide. And he said, okay, let's give you a roadmap. Let's do it. And I signed a dotted line. We did a video shoot at the end of 2023, and we went live with our marketing at the beginning of 2024. Man, it worked.
Yeah,
it definitely worked. We began the transition to focusing on full arch implant dentistry, and we were up to like 4 arches a month, maybe. And doing guided at the time. Again, back on this, not the same hamster wheel, but we're back on a hamster wheel of creating a monster that we just can't feed. Because keep in mind, still have 3 hygienists worth of general dentistry. Nothing easy about it. Long time to surgery, skyrocketing lab costs, and realizing how difficult this actually is at a small volume. There I am on that hamster wheel.
There you are, yes.
So I realized that, okay, if this is what I really want to do, we need to stay on point with elevating the standard of care and providing optimal dentistry. But I need to do it more efficiently. I need to have predictable outcomes. And I need to protect myself if I want to keep doing this. So I thought back to the drawing board. How do I do this? And I was rethinking the implant process, and I went back to basics. Free-handed, that's how I learned, is free-handed the way I need to go. And I like free-handed for many reasons, but in full arch especially, there's limitations. There's intraoral access. I'm still standing on my head half the time trying to visualize what I need to see. Obviously, there's limitations with precision and accuracy, and I couldn't go backwards on precision. So I had been doing guided for years with single implants and full arch, and it was great as far as precision goes, but there's obviously limitations to guides too. There's a huge irrigation limitation. No visibility whatsoever underneath the guide, and the cost is astronomical at volume with full arch. So I thought, okay, neither of those two things work. So what's next? And realized that photogrammetry from a conversion standpoint is the way to go. It's after the implants are in, it's going to give us the most precise restoration and shorten the surgery in a way. So I thought about, how do I cut costs and do the implants, or do the guides myself? Well, I could invest hours and hours of time to learn how to do it, how to plan the case. We could print in office. We had 3D printers already, but again, we're talking 40 hours of learning exocad, the design software. In a nutshell, more education, more of my time when I obviously already don't have the time to do that.
And finding too that with our patients, when we're in the consultations, we're very outcome focused, right? And they are too, of course. And we don't really think about it that way. We just want to solve the problem, fix the decay. And that's exactly what we were doing, is Band-Aid, 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 and not taking the leap that we needed to take to resolve all the issues that needed the Band-Aids.
So we still have this glaring problem of how to improve the placement of the implants themselves. And that's when I started doing my research, and I found navigated surgery as like kind of a entry level way to gain more access doing free-handed implant placement, basically, which after my research, I realized that it requires a line of sight from the camera system to the patient. And if anything interrupts that line of sight, whether it's my hand, the assistant's hand, the patient moves, what you're watching on the screen, you're watching yourself do free-handed implant placement, osteotomies, essentially. The whole thing stops. And the way I looked at it was, I can watch myself make mistakes on the screen. That's not helping me in any way, shape, or form. All the while, I had in my desk a card from the Neosis Yomi rep. I had it for like 2 years, and I thought, okay, is it time? And it seems like such a big leap. But what I also realized was that, you know, in the progression of how to place implants, there's free-handed guides. That camera navigation basically is an old Garmin that you have to plug the maps in ahead of time, and if there's a detour, it's not going to tell you anything. Versus robotics, you have haptic feedback. It's more like a GPS system when you get notifications on your Apple Watch to tell you to turn, or it updates as accidents happen. So it's giving you real-time feedback. So, and I had seen advertisements like this and thinking, there's no way it's that simple. Yeah, that's a typodont. There's no cheeks, there's no lips, there's no patient gagging, there's nothing else happening. Sure, I'll believe it when I see it, basically.
How long did it take to get set up to this point? All of those things.
And so this is halfway through 2024, and we knew we were going to a conference that there's going to be every rep under the sun, but it was a marketing education conference. But my goal was to come home with what we needed, essentially, because I knew I had to make a commitment or I wasn't going to survive this. So we went to the conference, and I demoed XNav because I said that's the barrier, and wanted to see if what I thought was true or not. And yeah, I demoed it, signed the dotted line to get my show discount, knowing that I was not super impressed, but it was an improvement.
And excited to tell the team about it.
Yeah.
Yes. And instead, the team was demoing Yomi with Alex when he came to walk over. And those of you who have demoed with Alex, you know how that went. So
the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the head any way she wants.
So in that video, we know who the woman is, and we know who the man is, and we know who is the neck and the head. So while I'm demoing XNav, my team's demoing Yomi, and I walk over all excited about XNav, and they basically said, "You're crazy, come do this. We're taking Yomi home," essentially. So, and since then, of course, we've closed on Yomi and brought it home a month later. And since then, no less than 6 arches per month. And the volume speaks for itself, in my opinion, and we'll get to the rest. So after that training, it took like 2 weeks to get Yomi installed, 2 weeks of training and like hardcore training. We dove deep, we closed the practice, and we all, as a team, learned what robotics is first, and then we learned how to use robotics, and then we learned how to market robotics. And through that training, it really showed me that Yomi is confidence, and it's confidence in my team. It's confidence in the adherence to the plan, that if we stick to the plan and the team knows the plan, the surgery is very predictable. And to me, it's a no-brainer because I'm just one part of the surgery. And once learned, I'm now replaceable. And if I want to grow the practice and protect the practice and the team and my patients, if something happens to me, we can train another dentist or another surgeon to come in and do what we need to do to get those predictable outcomes. And most importantly, no more plastic, no more shooting from the hip, basically.
So, and this is where on a surgery day, and I would step in and assist sometimes, and there would be this big giant sheet that Dr. Mike had handwritten that no one knew what it said, of if this happens, then do this. If this buccal plate blows, then do this. If, and nobody knew what was going on, right? So it's the weight of the world on his shoulders, essentially, for not only the patient that's open and flap to the liver, like he would say with stackable guides, but also the team. The team is unaware and asking tons of questions, and there's no efficiency like we had prior to, right? And we felt like this, like we're all just walking around in a billion different directions and quite literally bumping into each other and passing out sometimes too. But so Yomi, to us, it was a solution in ways we had no idea until we were in it, right? And it's certainly keeping us moving in the same direction. We no longer have this checklist. We have technology and understanding that is driving us through the surgery. And people are looking at a screen and know exactly what's going on in his head because of what they see on the screen and what's happening live when the buccal plate goes, where are we going next? So yes, that has been one of the biggest answers for sure to our issues.
And in this video that she's about to play, you just listen to the communication between the team members, and it really shows it. There was even a mistake that happened, and we recorded this and presented this on purpose because there's checks and balances of the surgery.
5, 6, works up to 40, works up to 50, works all the way.
Great. Next.
Number 5.
Pause.
4-3 by 5. 4-3. I have 4-3 by 11.5. I'm sorry, 4-3 by 11.5. Okay, thank you. Correction. Confirm.
So, like Erin said, we're all moving in the same direction, and there's a lot of moving parts to the surgery, as there is every surgery. But Yomi, it's the most advanced piece of technology I've ever owned and ever been a part of. But it's really it's about the digital workflow being simple.
Mm-hmm. And the posture while you're doing it.
Yes, and the ergonomics of it, because it's simple. And I'll take a second to show this study that proved that osteotomies are twice as fast with Yomi, and the implant placements themselves are 1.5 times faster than freehanded, which you would think would be faster. So the proof's in the pudding. It is more efficient. I experience that every day, and we'll show another video later that will show that will display that too. So really, it's three core appointments, and with these major steps, and Erin will talk about what it means from a TC standpoint and a team member standpoint too.
Right. So the turnaround time with Yomi is so much quicker. And how many of us have lost a case due to buyer's remorse, right? With the stackable guides, maybe a month we were ready for surgery, and we found that within that month, a lot of things could happen, right? I mean, it was anything under the sun. Dog could need an expensive procedure, vehicle broke down, fire, unfortunately, all kinds of things that are just, the patient still wants the procedure, but life got in the way. And that was one of the biggest things that once we started talking about Yomi, like, felt a lump in my throat when we started saying, we can do this. We can make this life change so much faster than you ever imagined, and so much more efficiently than you ever imagined. And how, from a treatment coordinator standpoint, I don't want to say stolen cases, but folks that we were able to help quicker, get them to their granddaughter's wedding with a whole new set of teeth, ready to go and smile. So it has been life-changing for the practice in that way. We thought we were going with the marketing, but boy, oh boy, did just saying these words and having this workflow change the process. The design visit, typically, that's the first appointment. Once patient says, yes, let's go, we collect, also from treatment coordinators, we collect this day of the design, because again, surgery for us is typically within a week of the design visit. So sometimes the next day we've done before. Yes. And so we need to collect in full that day, which again is lovely to go ahead and do such before life gets in the way. And it's very easy, quick, and this appointment can definitely be hyped up in a way to get patients in and be excited about it, right? They're bringing pictures in, and they are bringing family members with them to help them walk through it. And Dr. Mike says in the consults, like, with this kind of way of doing things, the aesthetic is oftentimes what we go for first. So you tell me what you want, and then I'll tell you if implants can go there, because we've got robotics that'll make it happen. So that really gets them excited and also keeps them from nervously canceling surgery day.
And so once we have the design, we take all the records, send it to my lab, which is Power Dental Studio. They send me back a mock-up, a wax-up that I use then to import to Yomi Plan. And we're gonna talk about this case in particular, kind of walk through it as an example.
Yeah, this was another one that in the consultation, he seemed like your average, very quiet, reserved guy, but he had been so unhappy with the aesthetic of his teeth for years and years. And it was always here, always in his noggin, always something he was thinking about. But the fear of the unknown is what was holding him back, right? He knows he can hide his smile in pictures at this point. He knows how to smile at this point. He doesn't know what things are going to look like if he invests thousands of dollars in time and recovery. He doesn't know. So again, that talking point of the aesthetic, tell me what you want and let's see what we can get planned. I'm going to digitally do this surgery before I even step foot that day, was really what closed it for him. Just the fear of the unknown was no longer an issue.
Right. Absolutely. So they send me this pre-op versus post-op, and we designed this case, kind of inadvertently at the time as FP1. And to me, it's pretty simple to work backwards from that plan to with Yomi to import it to the Yomi plan and design where the implants go. Once the provisional is designed, then it's working backwards to plan the implants, plan the MUA size, the correct angulation, and then finally plan the bone link to connect to Yomi for the surgery day. And these are a few screenshots, that you can see where the implants are planned in relation to the wax up STL. And we're basically guiding the healing of this FP1 case. And I'll kind of point this out that we talk about a lot about full arch, but for single implants, especially immediate single implants, in this case, number 7 or number 10, think about if somebody comes in, tooth's broken at the gum line, and rather than shooting from the hip or even using a guide, we all know that when you're changing the trajectory of the implant from the root surface, it's going to slip. And with Yomi, it does not slip. So I can place this implant. I mean, somebody came in with a broken tooth, we're ready to go in 5 minutes after the cone beam. So the predictability and the confidence is there, and I'm not standing on my head anymore, knowing that this implant is going to go exactly where we planned it. So once the design's done, it's time for surgery, and really it's just 5 core steps to the appointment: the length, the scan, check the plan, do the surgery, and then restore the arch. So it's pretty simple. In Yomi Plan, we've already pre-selected which bone link, which is the connector to Yomi. Place that on the patient's jaw, take a CT with these fiducial arrays to align everything, the pre-op CBCT to the day of surgery CBCT. I always review the plan to see, if there's a buccal plate that's missing, what's changed. Is there infection that we didn't know about? What do I need to adjust the plan based on the patient at the time?
Knowing that you can have confidence that the same day they're still getting teeth, no matter what changes you make, the same day he's getting a new set of teeth.
Exactly. So the beauty of the bone link is that it's also the fiducial alignment from the pre-op state to the edentulous state with implants, basically. So we use the bone link is the fiducial for the trio scan to send to the lab. And once they've confirmed alignment's good, we proceed with the surgery. This is a quick video of our assistant scanning, and you can see how much data there is involved with the bone link, especially if you have a tori like this guy. So it's safe. There's no more arch tracers. There's no more other fiducials. It's all in one. So once we've confirmed alignment's good, the pre-op and day of surgery CBCT and current state trio scans are combined, it's time for the surgery. We can do bone reduction if needed. I very rarely do it, but Yomi can help. If we're going to do it, then it's just on to guided osteotomies and implant placement. And again, I reviewed the plan prior to, but during the osteotomy creation, I'm always looking at the bone to confirm that we're drilling to the depth that the anatomy of the bone is exactly what we thought we saw on the cone beam. And we can adjust it intraoperatively during the osteotomy placement, or during the osteotomy creation or implant placement. We can adjust on the screen. All I have to do is tell the driver, hey, move that apical, move it 2 degrees. So it's very flexible, but efficient at the same time. Here's a quick video. I think we did these 6 osteotomies in 60 to 90 seconds. And with this video, listen to the communication and watch the screen. There's so much happening, but it's easy. And also pay attention to my ergonomics. As somebody that has a false disc in my neck, I got to be conscious of what I'm doing for sure every time.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5. At depth. 3.
Next, got it.
28. Guided. Tilt hand piece. Locked in. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At depth.
26, got it.
26. Guided. Switch hand piece inward. Locked in.
Got it.
Guided. Tilt hand piece down towards the chin. Locked in. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11. At depth.
3.
3.
Next, got it.
23. Guided. Tilt hand piece up towards the nose. Locked in. Hit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At depth.
3.
3.
Next, got it.
21. Guided. Tilt hand piece up. Locked in. 1, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11. At depth. 3.
Next, got it.
19. Guided. Tilt hand piece locked in. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. At depth. 3.
So the cool thing here that I didn't even realize is in that video, the patient moves. There is clear communication, and we're moving as if I had a guide, but I have visual access, copious irrigation. It's the benefits of both. And as I'm moving, the haptic guidance, as I'm moving the handpiece, the tracker arm, it is, as I'm angling the handpiece, it's giving me real-time resistance to know if I'm going the right way. So moving from osteotomy to osteotomy is super smooth, and it gives me all the feedback I need, plus the driver telling me what to do.
And also the fact of the moving of the patient and the coughing, we're oral conscious sedation only. It's tough in Missouri for IV. And so that also helps so much with the efficiency in our patient case selection and such as well, that these surgeries are efficient enough that we can do it with oral conscious sedation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so once the implants are in, we do our ICAM photogrammetry records, our post-op iOS, send it to the lab. We wait for the design, which takes about 30 minutes. 3D print the provisionals, which takes about an hour, and 2 hours of total design time, manufacture time. We're ready for the patient to leave. And again, she said OCS, oral conscious sedation. That's about the limit. And without Yomi, it was impossible to get 2 arches done in a day in a single sitting. This case was 1 month after owning Yomi, and here we are doing FP1s. And in this photo, the top photo especially, on the lower arch, we just done the lower arch that day, and that's immediate post-op with the bone link. You can see the little screw holes, that it's transmucosal. It's super, super easy, very minimally invasive, that the healing afterwards is so much better for the patient because we're not flapping them to the liver. And then we're back to this patient.
So just another reiteration of the confidence is
Yeah.
where this is. Yes. Again, an aesthetic driven patient, 100% aesthetic driven, minimal functionality issues. Those can be our toughest ones, honestly, because they've got something here that we want to commit to, but we can't always, right? Especially with stackables, especially with free-handed. And so the body's the body. We don't know what's going to happen on surgery day. And this allows us to know what we can still deliver as the patient outcome. So much confidence.
Absolutely. I would not have even attempted this with guides. And it happened a month after Yomi.
And something Dr. McKenzie used to always say, this is a patient that I honestly, he would look at the final photo and tweak it where he could, of course, like number 8, he's not happy with or something or other, but his reputation, and I know a lot of other doctors are in that situation of, I don't know if I want to dive into this just yet. I've got a reputation and I know what I know about restorative and such and with the stackables, but we don't have to worry about that reputation anymore. We love the outcome he achieved and he loves it even more. And he's telling all of his friends that he loves it even more. So with these private practices, Yomi has helped us in so many ways that we are confident in the reputation aspect of it. And the word of mouth has been huge too. Yes.
And again, the team is involved in every step of the way. And especially during surgery, they're thinking ahead. And, like Erin talked about, there's no more checklist. The checklist is on the screen. Everybody understands the plan and they can see it happening in real time. I'm not the only one that can see inside the mouth anymore, essentially. They can see what's happening. They know the next steps because, again, keep it simple, stupid. The workflow is so simple, so much more simplified, and which leads to better outcomes.
So mission accomplished. Our only regret is not doing this sooner. So we had said before that we started closing lots of cases, created this hamster wheel with the stackable guides, so on and so forth. But we thought next step is XNAV. Next step, we need to follow these procedures because that's what general dentistry does, right? And we needed to make the leap a long time ago, and we would have resolved a lot of headaches that we created then, and honestly have addressed some of those headaches by just saying, forget it, I'm going to do it all over again with Yomi for no charge for a couple of patients. That's how passionate we feel about this fact that we thought that we needed to grow to have Yomi, when really that was so very backwards, because we tried that, his neck tried that, and we almost screwed ourselves. And now having Yomi, we wish we would have had her a long, long time ago to help us grow through these growing pains, essentially, quite literally, actually.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And to deliver the patient outcomes, and again, not have the headache and the neck ache, and love our families at the end of the day. Absolutely.
And we say all these things, but our numbers don't lie. And you can see the graph. Since owning Yomi, our volume has increased exponentially, and we're on pace to we doubled in 2025 what we did in 2024 already. So, and with no end in sight.
As well as all of this with general dentistry still happening, because we're in a transition. And that's also, again, a thought. We don't need Yomi until we make it past this transition. We need another doc in here to take over the general before we do that. Again, so backwards, because we're able to fulfill the general dentistry needs that until we have another doctor soon, while still growing this full arch practice side as well.
So our opinion is, if the robotics train is leaving the station, actually it's left, and it's about to start moving a lot faster. So if there's a time to get on the train, like we did,
Mike says it's now.
It's now, absolutely. And this is a slide that kind of speaks a lot of volumes. To me, it says, look at all the other robotic companies and out there in medicine, and Yomi is the only one. And Yomi has technology that none of the other companies do. I hope I can say that, but that's my understanding. And of course, we know the implant market's growing very, very rapidly. We see it in our practice, and we see it in our hometown, our small hometown. And this slide really shows that those previous two slides, there's more procedures happening, and fewer providers providing those procedures. So what that tells us is what we've seen, efficiency. If less people are doing more procedures, it has to be more efficient. There's no doubt about it. The number of procedures is going to keep growing exponentially. So my question then is, who wants to be a part of it? Because if you want to keep up,
Yes.
robotics is the future. And another slide that shows Yomi it was a market disruptor for sure, and is the only market disruptor, the only robotics in dentistry, and it's growing. So I would say don't get left behind at this point. And their proof is there too with the number of osteotomies, nearly 100,000. I bet that number doubles next year, because in our practice it's doubled since we've owned. And we talked about the efficiency study earlier, and there has been long-standing studies of precision. Yomi's precision has spoken for itself for a long time, and I believe it. I've done freehanded, done guided. It's there, and look at these standard deviations and the differences. Who's to tell me that with guides, I mean, that's a full 2 degrees difference between guided and Yomi. I can't speak enough about the precision, the efficiency. The numbers are there.
Yep, the confidence, again, walking into surgery day knowing it's going to be a good day. We can promise that now.
And excitingly enough, it's going to get better. It's going to get easier. It's going to be more fluid. The technology, especially from a hardware standpoint, is ever evolving. This is proof. With Yomi S on the horizon, we don't have it yet, but soon enough we'll get to experience it. And just based on our experience with Neosis as a whole, as a company, from the training to the clinical support is unparalleled in any aspect of dentistry. The constant support from Neosis is why we enjoy it, right? Why our team enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
New team members are trained. It's a fantastic company. I'm excited about the new technology for sure. So in a nutshell, every modality in implant placement has benefits and it has cons. I won't belabor those. We talked about it earlier, but Yomi checks all the boxes. The haptic feedback is a game changer. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you have to. And you can watch all the videos, you can listen to us talk, but once you experience it, there's no going back. And my team proved that in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the head and the neck. Yes.
So to wrap up, we talked about confidence and precision, or confidence and efficiency. I hope you understand the gravity of your health and the longevity of your career. And even after your career is over, the legacy that you leave behind and replacing yourself on your own mission. I'm confident that, for one, I'm healthier, and I get to go home and enjoy my daughters more. I'm not taking gabapentin and muscle relaxers, and I'm way busier now than I was 2 years ago, and I'm much healthier. And my team sees it, like Erin said. My team experiences the same thing, and our patients are the real benefactor of our confidence and our abilities with Yomi, for sure.
And again, yes, this patient, Debbie, she is lovely and has been along for the ride with us in so many different ways. But this is just a case in point of prior to Yomi, correct? Because one arch was done with the stackable for her. Yeah.
To the liver.
Yes, to the liver. Yep. And so the before picture is prior to Yomi, beginning the marketing with our crew to really start diving into full arch. She's a lovely human and was just in it to win it with us, basically, and have full confidence in Dr. Mike along the way. And at some points, maybe she shouldn't have in our team, because we were learning too. But seeing their before picture here and then the after, this is after full arch, after her second arch that she decided to do with Yomi, after that was final delivery day, how much healthier they both look. Just is a great example of exactly what's happening in our practice every single day, and how much happier Dr. Mike is too along the way. So not to say that it's every day is easy, but every day again is confidence. And every day we know we're going to be able to walk out of here with a doctor with a neck that can come back in the next day. And that's a lot of confidence for me as a team member too. So yes, it's been life-changing.
Thank you all. Absolutely. If any doctors or team members want to reach out, please feel free to do so.
Yeah.
This is my Gmail, and where appropriate, Erin will obviously step in and answer any questions also. So thank you very much.
Thank you.